you have 4 recommendations in the book, and maybe you could just share what those are, having gone down this rabbit hole.
Totally. So the first and the most important one we've touched on is don't smoke. It is the number one thing that you can do to improve your personal health. So, I mean, obviously, if you don't smoke, don't start. If you do smoke, try your best to quit, right? That's the number one thing. The other one that's sort of in the same vein is be physically active in some way. You don't have to do 3 P90X classes every single day, but find some way to keep your body moving and use your muscles, do things, walk around. I mean, especially now that if you're lucky, you're self-isolating at home and we're shut inside but do take that walk around the block. It is important.
And it doesn't matter so much what you do, right? I mean, it's just doing some activity, right?
Yeah, I think if you, again, I'm sure if you dive into the research on this, there are people who will say yeah, it really matters, or no, it doesn't matter so much. My feeling is it's hard enough to motivate yourself to do exercise in the first place, that don't be too hard on yourself about what that exercise is. Just get moving in some way, right? Don't beat yourself up for not doing more. Congratulate yourself for doing what you were able to do and be physically active.
Right. Makes sense.
And the other 2 bits of advice are sort of, one of them is how to process information, and the other one is about food, because the whole book is about food. The processing information one is basically unless you're seeing a headline about contaminated lettuce or something from the CDC, about COVID-19, if I were you, I would pretty much ignore most news about health, especially if the headline reads something X food linked to X% increase in Y disease, right? Stuff like that. I bet if you do 5 minutes of Googling, you'll probably find the opposite headline a month ago, and you will end up losing trust in science. And it's not, science proceeds slowly and stepwise, right? It's not one study is going to come out and it's going to answer all the questions and lay the debate to rest. No, it's each piece is built on top of the last piece, and it takes years and years and years for us to get to an actual answer. So don't torture yourself by reading every single piece as it comes out. Wait for the official guidelines. And speaking of which, this is now we tie back into food. I think there's sort of an obsession in the US, at least, with optimizing things, right? What is the best possible thing that I can do on X? And especially with food, how can I be the most healthy imaginable when it comes to food? And I think that's really hard, because we actually don't know the pinnacle of health. And second of all, you're going to spend so much energy, in my opinion, waste so much energy trying to reach that peak, when really it's not it's this. It's probably more like this. Whereas if you're just a little bit off the peak, and you're not so bad, and you're going to spend hours and hours and hours getting yourself to the peak, forget it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Just follow some doctor recommended diet. Any doctor recommended diet.
Yeah.
Don't be deficient in the essential nutrients and stuff that you need, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and I mean, from an evolutionary perspective, our success as a species is being very adaptable. So there probably is not an optimum diet. I mean, I think that's probably the case, that there's sort of general guidelines, and you can really vary within that quite a bit.
And maybe the optimum diet is different for different people. If you have a certain gene, the optimum diet for you is different than the optimum diet for Jenny Craig, right? So you could spend your entire life doing that and never get the right answer. And
I think you're right too about the thing with health news. It's almost reminds me of on the internet where you see that that headline that was going around a lot, that one weird trick to do something. It's you think there's not that one weird trick. You're going to change your diet and it's going to, you're going to radically lose weight, or you're not, it's, there's a whole diet industry based on that. Oh, if I just cut out this one thing, if I stop eating this one macronutrient, if I add this one thing to my diet, that's going to make this big change. And it's just nonsense.
Yeah. No magic bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was you said there were 4. So what was?
Oh, that was it. So it was basically ignore most health news unless it's coming from the CDC or the FDA or the WHO or something like that. Don't smoke. Be physically active, and then like pick some, doctor approved diet and generally follow that and don't worry so much.
All right. And then we can live long, healthy lives.
Healthy and happy lives, right?
Happy.
That's the battle, right?